Over the past 5 years, we've seen an unprecedented level of change in the Australian legal industry. I think that change is well and truly underway, and it's likely to continue very strongly for a number of years to come. We've seen that change at a number of levels, both in terms of the structure of the industry itself and also in terms of changes within law firms and the way they compete. When it comes to the structure of law firms, or the structure of the industry indeed, what we're seeing is we've seen an incredible internationalisation of the Australian market. So we've seen foreign competitors come into the market. We've also seen the beginnings of alternative fee providers coming into the market. So what we're actually seeing overall is a much more crowded and competitive market. Within law firms, and in terms of the changes within law firms, what we're seeing there is changes at a whole range of levels, but they can probably be grouped around 2 or 3 things. One of the primary areas of change is around the need to deliver more for less. There is no doubt that since the global credit crunch and the pressures that that's put on the market for everybody, clients have been pressing their legal services providers to do more for less. And law firms, as a consequence, are innovating in a range of areas. Law firms are looking at alternative resourcing models, they're looking at the application of legal project management techniques, and they're even looking at legal process engineering, though it's fair to say we're at the early stages of those processes. Another area of change for law firms where change is well and truly underway, but where a lot more change is required, is in the area of greater diversity and participation by women in the workforce. It's fair to say that the incredible efforts that law firms have made over the last 5 or 10 years have not yet fully borne fruit. But one thing they have done is they've actually given us some insight into those strategies that do work and those strategies that don't. And I think that over the next 5 years, we will see a lot of improvement. The final area where I'd say that we're seeing a lot of change and where we've seen some quite dramatic change in the law over the last 5 years is in relation to pricing. Whilst it will be a long time before anyone can declare the billable hour dead, it's fair to say that we have seen a very significant movement to the use of alternative fee structures and to tailoring pricing to particular circumstances to ensure the clients get value for money. There have been a lot of changes in the market for legal services, which in turn are driving change. But the 2 that I think that you can single out as the 2 that have had the most impact are the entry of foreign firms, either directly or through alliances with Australian firms, and the entry of alternative service providers, with the consequence that the number of firms competing for work in the Australian market has actually increased significantly over the past 5 years. And that's been coupled with, or has happened at the same time, that demand in the market has decreased. So you put those 2 things together and you actually have more firms chasing less work. It's a more crowded space, it's very, very competitive. The other thing that's occurred during that time is that our clients have actually been under similar pressures. Globalisation, the credit crunch, all those factors that they face has meant that they've had to really focus on cutting costs, and they've really been focused on getting more for less. As a consequence, law firms have had to try and work out, how do we deliver more for less? How do we actually create that value for clients by changing the way in which we deliver legal services? The other thing too that's been affecting the demand is clients have also been asking themselves the question, do I make it or do I buy it? And what I mean by that is a lot more work is actually going in-house as in-house legal teams within clients become larger and their capacity increases. So those 2 things together, a shrinking market, more competitors, together with a change in the way clients buy services, means that we're seeing profound change in the legal services market. Rather it being a case of legal learning from one other industry in particular, I'd say that we're learning a lot from lots of other industries. So we're adopting legal project management, legal process improvement disciplines from engineering. We're seeing a real interest in alternative business models emerging. I'd say that's a very emergent change in the legal industry. That's something we're taking from the accounting firms who've no doubt been in that space for longer. And I think the other thing that you can't dismiss and that's actually really important is technology. Technology is going to be a key enabler when it comes to being able to adopt the legal project management, to adopt legal process improvement, and to adopt alternative resourcing or workforce ways of delivering services. So I think I'd single out those three, but I'd say that at the end of the day we're all very open-minded and we're looking across industries for ideas that are actually going to enable us to serve our clients better.